Okay, so this is just a quick update on our Nasdaq because last night we spoke on Insta about Nasdaq when it was breaking this area here. So first of all, the one thing we always want to make sure we know is where is the momentum going. So where is the price action going? And I think in this case, it's very clear to see that we have a very bearish market. So in a bearish market, one of the ways to trade is, first of all, in a bearish market, we know, okay, we'll be making lower lows and lower highs. In this instance, this is how we took the trade. So the market was coming from good momentum at this area that was created by the sideways movement here. After a lot of bearish momentum, market moved sideways, a nice drop, and then numerous times the market came back for a retest, and then it was able to go ahead and breach this area. So last night, if you check on the date, just before Asia, this is when we were able to take the position as the market was attempting to go back and retest these lows that had just been broken. So yeah, that's last night. But now I'm still maintaining my bearish bias with Nasdaq, and I'm looking for more positions here. And what can happen is, let's just go to the 1 hour. What can happen with Nasdaq is, first of all, we can see the market going back to this area for another retest, because this one was a very quick retest. This was just after we had broken, so there was not a lot of distance traveled by bears before coming back to this area. So we can still get a revisit of this area, and then if we come here, we see good candlesticks on the smaller time frames, then we can obviously be able to take more positions. And the nice thing about those entries is the chances of it going much lower, in the sense that it can also be now able to go ahead and break this area here, because you can just see it's what keeps happening when you're in a very good bearish market, in a very good bearish trend. Just like we've been coming here from these highs, I think this was around 15,000. The same thing happened. So we were able to breach this sort of area that we have here. Market came back for a retest, and after the retest, the market was easily able to go ahead and now break the lows that were made after the breach was made. So in this case, these are the lows we've made after breaking these lows. So chances are, if we are able to get rejections of this area and see bears coming in, can be able to not just sell back to these lows, but even beyond. So that's the first possibility with Nasdaq. Another thing we can do is, because for the simple fact that it has actually used this area, so like I said, like during Asia, just before Asia last night, the market actually gave us a lot of bearish momentum from this area as expected. So what can also still happen now is, if we take that movement, so the move that we got from here all the way down here, you can actually see that we have our good zone between 618 and 786 here, and it corresponds with the lows that were created just before we were making the retest, because I'm sure you guys can see all these wicks that we have here. So the market dropped all the way to this area. We saw a lot of rejections here, which took us back to the area before bears came back again. So this area, and you can actually see as we speak, the market is actually getting a lot of bearish momentum from here. So we might actually be able to get execution here. Just a bit late, man. This being Nasdaq, man. So I'm just going to keep a close eye on it at these lows here to see if I can still be able to join in on this market. But now I'm sure you guys know, like, my trading style basically also says, even if I'm not able to jump in here, so say I don't get a good entry here, like for the simple fact that already it's a bit far from my expected area of sales, we can still have sell positions at this area here. So this is obviously an important area. Like we said, a lot of the bears that took us here, they actually started failing here, and it's marked by, first of all, after a good bearish candlesticks, a good bearish candlestick, we started seeing more bearish candlesticks, but not with as much momentum as we saw as we were going down, breaking this area that I've marked on a smaller time frame. So what can happen is, in this area, if you can just mark this wick here, go to something like the 15 or the 30. Once the market is able to breach this area here, we don't need a retest because we are breaking an extreme low. So we are breaking the latest low or the latest structure. We can also still be able to execute. But I must say, man, this was actually a good point for execution. This was actually a good point for execution because, like I said about this red zone here, we might not go back to that area since we've already used it, like just before Asia last night. So now what can happen is, with this base coming in here at this area that we've actually discussed, if we don't get a retest of that area or just another opportunity for entry, because chances are a retest is not coming, man. I just was the one who wasn't paying attention. So, but what can still happen is, like I said, we can still get these sells if we see bearish momentum as the market actually goes ahead and breaks this low. So let's see how Nasdaq goes, man.